Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is 𝓛𝓪𝓭 and welcome back to Resident Lover. I'm very excited to get back into this game. It was a lot of fun in part 1. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But let's continue. Here we have Angie. She says, I just don't see why you thought to lie to me about it. I didn't lie. I didn't do anything. Angie opens her mouth to argue with you. She kissed me first. And promptly shuts it, teeth clacking. She blinks at you in genuine shock before laughing loudly. What did I miss? Angie opens her mouth to argue with you. She kissed me first, and promptly shuts it, teeth clacking. She blinks at you in genuine shock before laughing loudly. Really? She falls backwards onto the couch with you, cackling as she pulls her phone out almost immediately. You know in your bones that you've just subjected Donna to Angie's teasing, but decide you just let it happen. Angie is still snickering when your phone buzzes. Baby girl. Start of your chat with baby girl. Why? I'm sorry you're the one being scolded like a child. I'm sorry, are you the one being scolded like a child on the couch right now? You ratted me out. Sorry. No, you aren't. I'm really not. Oh, you guys are being so gross, aren't you? Oh, definitely. Angie sticks her tongue out at you and then you grab your bag and head out. We'll talk about this when you get back. Now, Angie, she raises a brow. That's no way to talk to your future aunt. And before you can pay the price for your actions, you dart out the door laughing as you hear the thunk of an orange hitting the door behind you and Angie's colorful language. Bitch! There's definitely a pep in your step as you walk, humming to yourself. Apparently, it's incredibly noticeable. If it isn't my favorite fan. Cass? She brightens. I knew you'd give in. What a healthy outlook on relationships. Anyway, I figured I might as well. You were good in Romeo and Juliet, by the way. You saw me in that? Yeah, I went with Donna. Cassandra blinks once and immediately cracks a grin. I told her she has game. What? Nothing. Thanks. Walk you to the shop? She offers an arm and you sigh. If you say no, you'll just follow me, won't you? You know me so well. You take her arm. Flirting with death. It's not fun if I don't almost die. She says that, but immediately looks worried. But how mad do you think she'll be? Cassandra lets go of your arm at the door and you pat her consolingly. Apparently you're last on the train of knowledge when it comes to Donna and her jealousy issues. Cassandra has mentioned that while her mother and Donna have an off and on again sisterly relationship, they usually get along unless one feels threatened by the other, which has been an unnaturally long streak recently. Internally, you wonder if you were the problem here, or if the headmistress is the problem, or perhaps a volatile mixture of both. You step inside and Donna peeks her head out from the nursery. Look at her. There she is, it's our lady. Donna peeks her head out from the nursery, a carefully controlled expression on her face until she fully registers who's at the door. You're here. Yeah, sorry I was late. Cass needed to wax poetic or something, I don't know. I tuned her out for a while. Hey. Donna's eyes flicker between the two of you for a moment, but she doesn't do much else other than round the corner and approach you. She then proceeds to completely ignore Cassandra and yanks you forward for a kiss as soon as you're in reach. With a squeak, you kiss back for a moment before she pulls away. Holy shit, Auntie, I'm right here. I know. That was probably the idea. Anyway, I'm here for apology flowers. Oh, for fuck's sake, what have you done now? With a strong start, you had thought that Donna would probably just behave like normal for the rest of the day, or maybe even be a little embarrassed over the reaction. Nope, your entire workday is littered with distractions as Donna can seemingly barely maintain focus long enough to do anything in the back, and you can barely even think of the word no when she comes to you. Not that you're complaining, and really it's your own fault for underestimating her own words. Still, you think maybe things are getting a little out of hand as you can't even remember what you were originally trying to do over here. Hush. There's nobody in here, and you started it. You'd also think that she'd be a little less bossy about things, but she's been telling you what to do for the last 15 minutes. And so, like a pair of teenagers under the bleachers, the two of you are, frankly, making out. There's no way around it. She has you pinned against the wall and has not stopped kissing you for 15 minutes straight, by far the longest distraction of the day. Things kind of go on mute for the next few minutes as she barely lets you breathe in between kisses. Ah, look at our lady. And that is precisely where it goes wrong. I'm assuming that's Italian. That is not what I wanted to see. Horrified, both of you separate immediately. You hadn't even heard the bell ring. Alcina, what are you doing here? She won't make eye contact with either of you and frankly looks like she wants to sink into the floor. I came to apologize, she grits out, but does seem to mean it. Oh, really? Is that so hard to believe? Donna stays diplomatically silent. Well, I am sorry. What? No? Well, I am sorry. I was behaving petulantly. It was completely uncalled for. Donna hesitates and you realize she's deciding whether or not she can stay close to the Dimitrescu's and still be separate from the headmistress. Well, I suppose I forgive you. There isn't a lot for you to be in competition with. There isn't a lot for you to be in competition with me anymore, so I imagine that will fix most of our fights. The professor looks surprised. So it's true? Yes. I plan to enjoy this round. I'm sure next time she'll keep me on a tighter leash. Both you and the professor turn. What? Nothing. It doesn't matter. She looks at you pensively before turning back to her sister. Would you like to join us for tea? We get to have tea with the tall, hot lady? Wow. A lesson was learned, but not the one you thought would be. She doesn't approach you in the front anymore, but instead lures you into the nursery. You've already given up on doing your job, so you decide to just roll with it. The best part so far is that when you kiss, the scarred half of her face, she gets so flustered that she can't function. I don't understand why you insist on it is all, she had muttered it after the second time you'd done it. Because you're beautiful, and I'm tired of you thinking otherwise. Correct. And the day is pretty much spent in the back doing a whole lot of not working. About an hour after close, Donna starts cursing in English and Italian that she has forgotten to check the theater and go over any tiny detail of the renovation. You, of course, offered to go with her and she immediately gave you a shy smile which signified that yes, you would be going with her. There's no way you would want to be separated anyway. Both of you are just a little too lovesick to bear it. So far, you have been following closely behind, doing your best to not be in the way as you really don't know much about what to be doing here. The few times you have come to help, Donna had to practically ban you from helping. Your first meeting probably didn't really help her believe that you wouldn't accidentally die on the stage. Sometimes she frowns and hits a frame particularly hard, and if it doesn't budge or splinter, she nods approvingly. And when a few do budge under the force or splinter on impact, you are reminded that she is in fact stronger than she looks while she scribbles a note to herself. As you two slowly make your way around, Donna begins to slow down occasionally as if to say something to you, but shakes her head and picks up her pace once more. You let it be. When the two of you go back to the stage itself, you both stop. Donna stares out towards the seats, thinking very hard. She starts to chew on her lip and furrows her brows as you meander around the stage idly, trying to pretend like you're not entirely focused on her. She fits very well on stage. If she weren't so against being noticed by so many people, you wonder if she would have been willing to act. Maybe you're biased, though. Eventually, you tire of walking and walk back over to her, still staring in thought. She glances at you for a moment before quickly looking away. What is it about reading this much that makes my nose water? That makes my nose run. I swear I know how to speak English. I do still think that when we tell people how we met, we should really lean into the phantom bit, you joke unthinkingly before realizing you're not totally sure if Donna also knows that it was a very real rumor and that it was about her. What? Never mind, I didn't say anything. Phantom? What phantom? Fuck. Language? She swears all the time. Are you watching my language? What are you talking about? Her voice gets a little louder as her curiosity grows. Well, do you remember I almost died because I wasn't looking where I was going while I was running from you like an idiot? I'll likely remember it forever. Well, remember when I mentioned that I thought you were the phantom? Donna stares at you. Stares a little longer. Am I the phantom from the rumors? Maybe. Perhaps. Yes. Her eyes widen before she does something completely unexpected. She falls into a fit of giggles, her hand going to her stomach, and she laughs harder as more time passes. When she's frightened, oh, she's so cute. When she's breathless from it, she straightens, hand over her mouth. That's absolutely ridiculous. Italian. Well, obviously. You had believed it when you were running. She reaches out for you and you walk closer without much thought. Her arms go around your neck as she continues to smile at you. I meant they mean like a hug situation, not like a situation. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I've been having great difficulty working. Really? You raise a brow in amusement. Oh yes, but I suppose you know what they say. All work and no play makes you a dull woman. She hums in agreement. Although, I seem to have gone in the opposite direction. I'm terribly sorry to hear that. What can I do? Stop being so distracting. Ah, sorry. Can't help with that. She pouts, and you can't bear it any longer. You lean forward and kiss her. She makes a pleased noise. She's gotten her way, hasn't she? She tightens her arm around you. You break away and take 3 steps back quickly, grinning when she sways after you. But I'll certainly try. Try later. She whines the phrase out petulantly, but before you can tease her any further, something above her catches your eye. It's swinging precariously, and on instinct, you rush forward with the pure force of adrenaline alone, pick her up slightly, and swing both her and you out of the way before it makes a creaking noise and crashes to the floor. It's a bucket. It spills on impact, and a gross red substance leaks all over the floor. You widen your eyes in a vague sense of horror. That's what would have been all over Donna, or she'd have a concussion from the impact. What in the world? Are you okay? You frown, your hands raising to hover, occasionally allowing your fingers to make contact to solidify if she's okay. I'm all right. She reaches up as well, grabbing your hands in midair with a fond expression. Thank you for saving me. Again. There's a mysterious red liquid behind you, and you should really try and figure out what it is and how to clean it, or at least find someone to clean it for you. Instead, you let Donna distract you from the mess as she kisses you as thanks, you think. It would have been fine if she kissed you once and left it at that, but both of you have poor self-control, and soon enough, you're way too invested in the kiss to separate. There's a point somewhere in the time void you exist in while kissing her that you remember that you're supposed to be doing something and try to separate, only to get, and you're not joking, growled at in response and yanked back. That is the only time you try. You aren't really too keen to stop anyway. She's absolutely addictive, and she knows it. She is pulling away from you momentarily, her grip still strong to keep you close and her eyes dark. I think I would rather leave this for tomorrow, wouldn't you? Leave the cleaning for tomorrow? But it'll stain. But like, you can paint over it. It's a stage. Sure. It's probably already late anyway. Yes. Your face is flushed, but it comes out fast. She smiles. Smug. Well then, let's go. She grabs you by the hand and drags you off stage. Shouldn't we tell someone about later? She stops and kisses you again. Rough. I don't have the patience for it now. Her tone speaks of the things to come. Let me take you home. You lead in unconsciously. Okay, take me home. 1 month later? You're gonna give me a month-long time break? All right. 1 month later. Sweetheart, where did you move the daisies? By the peonies. You pause. And where are the peonies? You hear a thump as she puts down a pot and a muttering as she comes out. Don't mutter. You didn't tell me you were reorganizing again. Are we fighting? I don't want to fight with her. It really shouldn't be that hard to find them. They're right there. She points just slightly to the right of you. And what do you know? They are right there. Thanks, love. Oh, good. We're not. Okay, good. You press a kiss to her temple and she hums, likely rolling her eyes. You're welcome. Remember that Angie wants to have dinner with us tonight. The newly mandated by Angie weekly dinner. It started last week as soon as it became clear to her that this was probably going to last a very long time. It had been a bit of a disaster to say the least. Does she not remember to spike our drinks? Probably not, but I had more fun that way. You throw your hands up. They really are more similar than you thought. Fine, whatever. Just tell her not to spike my drink. I told her way more information than I wanted to. Donna's mouth turns up slightly. I liked that part. Of course she did. She prods at the potted tulips before making a guilty expression. Instead, she goes over to the pre-made bouquets that cost an absolute fortune and picks a red tulip out one. Promptly hands it to you. There. You grin at the meaning. True love. Oh, I did it. I reached an end. Yes. Excellent. Does anything happen if I'm gonna go back here. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the theater. We kiss a lot, and then we make a mess. And I want to know what happens if I say no. I did find the spot where we have to say no. Leave the cleaning for tomorrow. If I said no, you hesitate for a moment and Donna picks up on it immediately. If you don't want to, that's fine. Only a moment ago she practically spelled it out for you, but now she seems embarrassed, so much that she winces at her own phrasing. Thank you. You give her a look in hopes that she'll understand, and she does. She steps away, blowing a loose strand of hair out of her face. Shall we find someone to clean this up then? 1 month later, by the peonies. This is all the same. It's the same. Okay, let's try a new game. This is gonna take forever, but we remember all of this from the last one. We get the letter. It's talking about the university. Now, if we go to the art major. Ooh, theater or art. Oh. Art. The setup is different. I'm glad I was able to secure a spot in that class. Despite it being lecture style, the office of the registrar almost didn't give the spot to me because there's nearly as many people in that class as there are seats in the lecture hall. You wonder why this is the case. What's so great about this class? From what you've heard whispered around campus, the professor isn't an easy one. What reason would people have to actively seek out a tough class? You've also heard the professor is hot, but surely they're just exaggerating, right? Who even picks a class for the hot professor? You could never be like that. You purely want to study and do your best for the class and yourself. You haven't met her yet. But enough about classes. There is still a full day before the start, and you have some free time on your hands, so you decide to head to the dorms. Angie is blasting music, a weird mix of what sounds like trumpets, sirens, and electronic music, so garbled it can only be likened to hell. And as she puts the finishing touches on her room, Daniela is sat sprawled out on the couches, polishing the wheels of her board until they gleam. Daniela notices you've come in. Hey, roomie, ready for tomorrow? I guess I have some free time, and I figured. Angie whirls over in between the two of you, grabbing your hands and hers as she finishes your sentence. You'd come drink with us? She blasts her megawatt smile at you, and you squint your eyes against the brightness of it, and at her absurd statement. What? Drinking at the local town bar for good luck. How will having a hangover before class be good luck? You respond dryly, slipping your hands free from hers. Going out for a few drinks doesn't sound like a bad idea. We could do a toast to us being roommates and to starting a whole new school year. You deliberate for a moment on this. Should you go out with them? It's not like you have anything better to do, and you don't want to seem uncool to your roommates, so you're just getting to know them. I guess it wouldn't hurt to get a drink. To get one drink. Angie woos loudly. 15 minutes later. What happened to getting one drink? You can't help from asking as Angie sits in front of you at the table, slamming back another entire mug of beer. She finishes it, burps loud enough to wake the dead, then tosses the empty mug over her shoulder, where it shatters on the floor. Angie! You watch, unimpressed at her destructive actions. Never agreed to just one, she hiccups, her words slurring together. You glance over at Daniela, hoping for some support, but there is none to be found there. Daniela is swaying in her seat, singing Kumbaya, my lord, to her mug, before raising it to her lips and drinking half of the beer in one go. Your own beer sits three-fourths full in front of you. This is not the vibe you want to rip for classes. It's barely 9 p.m. and they are already slammed. Should we go home? Don't be a party pooper. Angie presses her finger to your mouth before you can open it to argue the benefits of going home. Then she raises her hand and loudly calls out for the bartender to come bring more drinks. He dutifully brings out a tray of shots. 6 shots, in fact. She nudges one into your fingers. To roommates. Daniela grabs one of her own, nearly sloshing the liquid out of it. To roommates. We've been toasting roommates this entire night, you grumble. Pick up your glass. Fine. You sigh out and snatch it up. You clink your glass against theirs and then swallow it back. It burns a path down your throat. Ugh, gross. Another one. Another drink? Fine, but it's the last one. You gulp down the second shot and you can feel it burning away in the inside of your stomach. You're going to regret doing that, you just know it. The alcohol catches up to you and much more quickly than you expected, and you find yourself agreeing to shots with Angie. Soon the trio of you are giggling around the table about who knows what. You don't care because you're smiling so hard your cheeks hurt. Eventually, Angie sees someone she knows standing at the bar and goes and talks with them. You don't know when she'll be back. Squinting your eyes over to where she should be standing, you can make out someone doing cartwheels. You hope for her sake she's not doing those while drunk. Daniela says, "Say, how do you feel about more shit?" Daniela's offers more drinks turns more into a curse instead. Her eyes go wide. She sees something over your shoulder that scares her. Instantly, she dips. Blinking, you are left staring where she had sat mere moments ago. Even her cups are gone, as if she'd never been there. Should you be concerned? You turn around and see what had scared her so much, and you crane your neck up and up even higher to fully take in the sight before you. Look at that outfit! Oh! Ooh! Wow. A tall woman you've never seen before is striding over to your table. She is wearing a coat with fur on the collar that does nothing to hide her curves or the swell of her chest. A black hat sits jaunty on her head. The night dark curls of her hair frame her face just right. As she nears, you have to crane your neck back more and more just to keep staring at her beautiful face, except you overextend yourself. She only manages to open your mouth before you lean too far back in your chair and with a complete lack of coordination in your body due to the alcohol, manage to slip out of your seat and hit the back of your head on the edge of the tabletop before you flop to the dirty floor. Embarrassingly, this is enough to knock you out. Oh, that's why you don't say yes to the one extra shot, I guess. You wake up, groaning quietly to yourself. Your head throbs in the back from where you had hit it, and it throbs in the front from all the drinking. Great. Just great. And to top matters off, you have no idea where you are. Certainly not in the dorms. The bed you are lying on is way too big and fancy to belong to a college dorm room. Have you been kidnapped? Panic courses through your veins and you jump out of your bed. You regret doing that because a second later your head feels like it's going to split in two. You grab at it and hold on to the bedpost to steady yourself. When you feel all right to move again, you take a look at the room. Yeah, clearly not a dorm room. The furniture here looks antique and the vases and paintings on the walls look like they cost thousands. Best be careful not to step into any of them by accident. You reach the door and turn the knob only to find yourself in an even more expensive looking hallway. You recognize half the paintings from your art history books. Are they all originals? Where the hell are you? A low voice dripping with sultry tones speaks up behind you. I see you're awake. You took a nasty hit. You turn and crane your head up and up and up. It's the woman from last night. What the hell is she doing here? Fret not, mysterious hot tall lady. Mysterious hot tall lady says, "Fret not, little one. I could not leave you in that hovel of an establishment. I had my personal doctor pay you a visit to make sure you'll be well. He left some medicine for you. I was coming to fetch you so you could take it." You're slack-jawed right now. So much is going on. Your head is hurting too much to think properly. I think I'll take you up on that offer. You just hope she hasn't done anything to the medicine or that the medicine she's giving you isn't drugs. She looks rich enough to casually just give out cocaine as a housewarming gift. You follow behind her, accidentally become mesmerized in the way her hips sway in front of you. So mesmerized, in fact, that you don't notice she has stopped until you bump right into her. Embarrassed, you pull away from her. She turns to glare down at you. Sorry, you squeak out, raising your hands above your head to prove you weren't trying to do that on purpose. You'd slap your cheeks to get hold of yourself, but that would only make your head hurt more. You instead follow behind her, keeping a bigger distance this time. She leads you through the winding hallways of this place and down the stairs to a fancy-looking kitchen, the only modern room in the mansion. It is outfitted with the latest technology, and on the giant kitchen island there is a full breakfast spread of the freshest fruit, the crispiest bacon, and the best fried eggs, complete with pancake stacks and more. You can't wait to eat. Hangover? You don't know her. The medicine the doctor prescribed, which is just pain meds, is on the table nearby, and you take 2 pills and swallow them with water. Despite your earlier hunger at seeing all the food, you know you're only a guest here. She's done you a huge favor making sure you didn't spend the night on a bar floor. Speaking of nights on bar floors, where's Angie, and where had Daniela run off to? You're gonna have to have a stern word with both of them. You can't believe they caused this mess to happen the day before classes. And, that class! You snatch your phone out of your pocket but find it's not there. Neither are your normal clothes. What happened to my shirt and jeans? I had the maids take it. You couldn't sleep in such filthy clothing. The clothing you have on now is made of satin. The shirt feels soft and comfortable on your skin. Did she just have clothing your size lying around? Oh, wow. Sorry, this is a lot to take in. It's not every day that some rando comes and helps you. She arches her brow. A rando? Random person? Where I'm from, there's a higher chance that I've woken up in a parking lot of a Denny's rather than a nice, comfortable bed. Who is this Dennis? that he has people sleeping in his parking lot. No, it's a rep. You know what? Never mind. Your original clothes will be returned to you after they have been washed and pressed by the staff. When is that? I have somewhere to go and I don't want to be late. It's 6 in the morning, little one. You glance at the. I love that she calls you little one because she's so tall. You glance at the clock on the wall. Is it this early? Why does it feel so much later? You should stay and eat. I had the chef make this. Of course she would have a personal chef. What doesn't this lady have? You had this entire meal made for me? Is it not satisfactory? Her brows furrow angrily. I'll fire the chef if you rush to speak before the poor man can lose his job. No, it's amazing. I've never had anyone go out of their way to do this for me. You don't even know me. I was raised to be the perfect hostess. Besides, you were in need. It would be rude of me to leave you like that. I did also want to ask you a question. You pause in the middle of piling food into your plate. About what? A shadow crosses her face. Where is Daniela? Portrait of Madame X, Lesson 2. You freeze. Unease fills you. What does this lady want with Daniela? What can you tell her? What do you tell her? Play dumb, play even dumber, or tell the truth. I told the truth in the last one and it worked out pretty well for me. Tell the truth. I don't know where she is. She ran off. Truly. Truly. She looks you over thoughtfully. It's a shame she ran off. I only wanted to talk with her. What do you even want from Daniela? She's my daughter. I only wanted to make sure she wasn't going to get into trouble. She's a freshman. I merely sought to make sure she was all moved in and ready for her school year. Daniela's mom? They look nothing alike at all. Daniela's so relaxed and chill and she dresses in sweats, while this woman screams opulence and feed me grapes on my lounge chair, servant. They don't even have the same hair color, although you can see where Daniela gets her height from. I don't know. Daniela's mom. It's alright, I shall find her later. She's always was the rowdy one of the bunch. Yeah, it's surprising that she's your daughter. I mean, she likes to play video games and skateboard, and you seem to like collecting high-end art like that portrait of Madame X you have by that staircase. Her brow hikes up at the casual mention of the art piece's name. You seem familiar with that work. How could I not be? There's so much scandal surrounding that piece when John Singer Sargent debuted it due to some saying her pose was sexually provocative. Do you find her pose provocative? She hums, eyes shining with interest. There's a lilt to her voice that you can't quite place the meaning of. You chew on your croissant thoughtfully. It has been a long time since you found someone you can talk to about art. Yes, you had friends who were artists, but they were more interested in creating art and hopping on the newest trends rather than studying the classics of painters of old. There was historical meaning and specific artistic techniques. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Specific artistic techniques that could be learned from older artworks. There were pieces surrounded in drama, artists whose lives were plagued by horrible events, censorship of pieces that had already been painted. It was also intriguing. Not at all. I find her pose powerful, inviting, and meant to intrigue. Daniela's mom smiles. I see you have an eye for women. That I do, Miss Ma'am. I'm an artist. I have to appreciate the form. If I don't, how could I create anything? Come with me. I'd like to get your opinion on another painting I have. An original, just like the Madame X one. Naturally, I would never settle for replicas. You snag a muffin to take with you and follow Daniela's mom deeper into the house. What was meant to be a brief showing of one artwork turns into her showing you another piece and another. And she has so much to say about each piece. She is extremely knowledgeable about each topic, and you even learned a few things from her about the pieces. Your enthusiasm and questions endear you to her, for she makes a comment at the end of your 1-hour tour. I must say, you are adorable. Thank you. Your eyes bulge at this. She thinks you're cute. Next to her statuesque figure, you don't feel like you could compare to her in any way, much less be cute. What can you even say to this? Should you compliment her back? But telling her she is beautiful doesn't seem very flattering. Surely she must know this and have 1,000 people telling her this. Yet, thanking her for the compliment is a bit too dry. Your heart is pounding in your chest. What should you say? She's looking at you, and even though it's only been a few seconds have passed since you're uttering that phrase, you feel it's been too long. Think! You scold yourself, panicking. You decide you want to tell her how you've enjoyed your stay at her mansion, despite the fact that she kind of kidnapped you and brought you here when she speaks again. I made the right choice picking up the bar's stray. Did she just call you a stray? I'll be anything you want, Mamacita. A roach, a piece of gum, a stone under your heel, just name it. I'll be anything you want. You ramble on, and Daniela's mom's awkward-sounding cough stops you before you can embarrass yourself anymore. Duly noted, my dear. Maybe keep it to yourself. It was just a joke. You try to play it off, but it seems like she's not convinced. Somewhere the grandfather clock rings and you're alerted to the fact that so much time has already passed. I have to go. I don't want to be late to my first class of the semester. Fret not. I'll have my chauffeur drive you. That is a relief. You won't have to worry about using public transport. She leads you to the entrance hall, which is as grand as every other part of this building. Outside, the car is waiting for you, as is the maid with your old clothes folded neatly into a bag. Thank you for everything, really. I would have been in so much worse shape if not for you. You can repay me some other time, sweetling. She holds out her hand and you take it to shake. Her fingers are so long and limber and her hand is so warm and soft and... Oh, she's saying something. You focus your attention on her. My name is Alcina. Pleasure to meet you. You hastily mumble your name in return, then notice that she hasn't retracted her hand yet. You glance up at her and notice she's waiting on something. What do you do? Lick the... Kiss the back of her hand. You lift her hand to your mouth, brushing your lips gently across her skin. She makes a noise of approval. Intelligent and well-mannered. I think we're off to a great start, dear. You walk towards the back of the waiting car. As the car drives away, you watch from the back seat as she closes the door and the mansion gets smaller and smaller. You'd never expected a night out for drinks to go this way, but it has. Meeting Alcina has made you feel tingly in a good way. You want to know more about her as she is entirely captivating and you've never fallen head over heels for anyone before. Quite literally. The fact that she's Daniela's mom makes things a bit awkward, but surely nothing more is going to happen. Alcina sees you as a friend, most likely, no matter how deeply you've become entranced by her. She is impressive from what little you've seen and known of her. How could you not be taken with her? Her height, dear God, her hands. Could you imagine them being put to good use everywhere on your... The chauffeur makes the announcement that you've arrived at campus and you jerk from your thoughts, wiping the drool that has crept down your chin. You grab your stuff and head back to your dorm. You have about half an hour to get ready for class. You need a quick shower and a change of clothes, then you have to pack your book bag. You rush into the dorm to find that Angie is snoring loudly from her bed and Daniela is packing her bag. You! Daniela jolts when you loudly shout at her. You left me at the bar! Thanks for that, asshole! Daniela has the decency to look apologetic. Sorry. Why did you do that? I had to cover you for your ass because your mother was questioning me about it. Daniela's eyes go wide. My mother? You spent the night with my mother? Why is her face getting red? Why does she sound so upset? She had to rescue me from the bar because you ran away and Angie left me. You're being loud right now, but even that isn't enough to wake Angie up. She keeps on snoring louder to match the rising volume of your voice. Daniela seems to calm down a bit at this. And she didn't invite you over for wine or anything? Why does it matter? Daniela let out a groan. She covers her face embarrassed. She did, didn't she? She just told me I owe her for saving me, which is a fair trade. I told my mom to stop trying to befriend my friends. She wants to be cool and all that, so she can make sure everyone I hang out with is a decent person and won't do me harm. But it's just getting in the way of my friendships. She'll become friends with the people I talk to, and then they'll fall in love with her for her charm and wit. And inevitably, when she rejects them, it's been hella awkward for me. It's even more awkward when the girl I like ends up liking her, and well... You get the idea. She grabs you by the hand, squeezing them tight, a serious look on her face. Promise me you won't do that to me. Promise me you won't end up crushing on my mom. It's weird. You thin your lips. So this might not be the time to tell her it's kind of too late. In fact, you don't think you'll ever tell her it's too late. Then again, you don't plan on having anything happen between the two of you. Alcina just wants to keep a close eye on her daughter through you, and you want to keep an eye on her enormous chest assets. Of course, you lie through your teeth. Daniela still seems immensely worried, but Let's go. It was why I ran out of the bar. I didn't want my mom seeing me there. She's been breathing down my neck at college, about college, and it feels like I have no room to do what I want. I have to go to class now. Daniela waves goodbye to you. You hop in the shower and wash up as quickly as you can. The conversation with Daniela took so long that even the shower being cut short, with you running across campus, you are still 5 minutes late to class. You stumble into the class, almost tripping over your feet. You barely manage to save yourself from face planting into the floor. I see someone has 2 left feet. Did they prevent you from getting to my class on time? Your brain recognizes that voice, and as you direct your eyes to where the board is, the truth of the matter is only compounded. The woman who rescued you from the bar is your woman in art professor, Alcina Dimitrescu. Self-portrait as the allegory of painting. Lesson 3. Alcina looks as well put together as she did this morning, which feels like it had occurred over a century ago. Her hair is coiffed perfectly at chin level, a few strands swooping over her right eye. You stare dumbly at her. If she recognizes you or is horrified by the situation, you can't read it on her face. Well, are you going to stand there all day with your mouth open, catching flies, or are you going to take a seat and stop distracting my class? There's a scatter of laughter coming from the 200 plus students already seated. You shrink in embarrassment. Alcina turns to them, annoyance in her gaze. And what are you all laughing about? Her stern voice shuts them all up. You trudge up the stairs and take an empty seat all the way in the back. Alcina begins her lecture by going over the syllabus that will be expected of this class before going into an introduction on women in art. It is dead silent, no one even daring to whisper while she speaks. You catch a few students looking at her dreamily and sigh under your breath. Seems like you're not the only one who has the hots for her. But coming into class has been like someone dumping a cold bucket of water all over you. Not only as Alcina Daniela's mom, and Daniela has begged and warned you to stay away, she is your professor. You are absolutely not going to get involved. You spend the entire class resolving yourself to this fact and trying to get over your crush. Easier said than done, as you can't help but appreciate how powerful Alcina looks standing at the podium in front of the class. Yeah, she does. She commands everyone's attention. The passion with which she speaks, the confidence with which she carries herself. Ugh. You shake your head and try to focus on the lesson. When class is finally over, you slip through the students, hoping to get out unnoticed. A word after class. You freeze. Damn it, so close to the exit. You wait for her by the door, watching ruefully as the other students get to leave. A few loiter behind to try and speak with her, and she humors their questions, but it is clear she wants to leave. When at last she has dismissed the last student, she turns to you. Do you have class after this? No? Walk with me. I'd like to talk. You gulp at this, but comply with her order. The two of you walk across campus. What do you say to her? Is there anything you can say? Before you can start a conversation, she speaks. How is Daniela? Her tone is softer here, like it had been this morning. You feel relieved to hear that. You had been worried she would be upset at you. Good. Alcina lets out a weary sigh. I'm relieved she made it back from the bar safely. Honestly, what was she thinking, bolting like that? I understand it must be very embarrassing for her to have her mother working at the same school she attends, but my other daughters don't seem to mind it. They're also on campus? Yes. Bella is a junior and my eldest. She leads the student council. She works closely with Miranda, the president of this university, to make this campus a better place. Cassandra is a sophomore and a middle child. She stars in the campus theater shows, and once she graduates, I intend to have her playing in my theaters on Broadway, too. You gasp at this fact, though it shouldn't surprise you by now. You own theaters? Alcina laughs, and it is rich and velvety. Of course. The arts are very important to me. And what of Daniela? Alcina frowns at this, thinking over her words. She's the youngest. She hasn't specialized in anything yet or shown much interest in things other than video games or skating or hanging out with those good-for-nothing losers. Alcina smiles apologetically. Not you, my dear. I mean those she meets that motivate her to goof off and not pay attention to her studies. I'm sure Daniela will find something she likes. You feel the need to protect your roommate. Alcina is demanding of everyone, it seems. I hope so too. It worries me that she might have lost the Dimitrescu touch. Dimitrescu touch? Alcina elaborates graciously. Cassandra is stellar at acting. She can sing, dance, and play music. She's mastered a majority of the arts and has captivated the hearts of many, not to mention captured several awards for her performances. Bella is sharply focused on her academics, especially towards literature, and runs several successful projects when she's not busy volunteering for the community. She has more than a dozen scholarships to her name, and her grades cannot be beat. There is a clear pride in Alcina's voice as she speaks of her daughters. I myself sing, dance, act, and sculpt. At this, her expression drops. As for Daniela, I'm not sure what her strengths are. She doesn't seem motivated to do anything. She picked up a guitar once, but she's decent at it, but she refuses to do anything else. You're pretty sure you've heard way more than you needed to know. Sounds like Daniela has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. Who wouldn't want to give up if her sisters were successful like that? Agreed. She just needs some time to come into her own. Everyone matures or finds successes at their own pace. Alcina mulls over this before nodding her head. You've put it wisely, my dear. I feel more reassured for the time being. Do please keep an eye on her if you can. I don't want to be a bother, therefore... I will stay away from her on campus. What do you say? I won't spy on her. You shake her head no. I'm not gonna spy on her. I'm not asking you to spy on her, merely to alert me if anything untoward happens. She hands over her business card. It has her number on it in gilded gold letters on a white background. And is that a hint of perfume on it? It smells rich and heady, and a touch masculine. You inhale sharply, forgetting where you are momentarily, panickedly, holding your breath and pocketing the card. She arches your brow at you, but does not comment. Take care. I will talk with you later. She hurries away and you let out the breath you were holding, your heart racing in your chest. Alcina had gave you her phone number on a business card, because of course she would. You're torn between being elated and horrified. You promised Daniela you wouldn't interact with her mom, yet here you are with Alcina's personal number. You decide you need a moment to compose yourself. You stop over at the cafe. What do you order to drink? Tea? Because you drink tea with Donna? A depresso espresso? Iced water with whipped cream. Ew. A depresso espresso. What do you want to eat? A muffin. You wait in line and the barista named Alina takes your order. Before you can pay for it, someone swoops in and hands their black card over. Alina takes it, looking unimpressed as she swipes. You turn back to see who had done this. Ah, Cassandra. A brown-haired woman with a wide smile on her face is standing behind you. It's on me. Thanks. Sorry, who are you? The woman takes her card back and you both step out of line and let the others order as you wait for your order to go through. I'm Cassandra. You're rooming with my younger sister. This must be Cassandra Dimitrescu, the golden middle child. Oh, I've heard so much about you from your mother. Blurts out from your mouth before you can stop it. Cassandra's eyes go wide. My mother? Was that not a good thing to say? Thankfully, your name is called out and you hurry over to the barista. You hastily explain yourself so you don't sound like a creep. Your mother is my professor and she knows I'm rooming with Daniela. Cassandra gives a low whistle. You're taking mom's class? That's rough. She makes everyone work for their grades. That's what I keep hearing. You trail off despondently. Alina hands you the drink and the food. In a low voice, she warns you. Be careful with that one. She's a horrendous flirt. Looks like Alcina forgot to mention that about her daughter. Either that or she didn't know. You thank Alina for the food and Cassandra follows you out of the cafe. Why is she following you? Can I help you? You arch a brow at her in question and she smiles warmly at you. Just trying to get to know you better. You are my sister's roommate after all, and I'm coming over later for game night today too. Game night? This is the first you've heard of that. I was hoping you would be more relaxed than Angie. She once tried to bite my fingers off and not in the way I like. She winks at you. Is she trying to hit on you already? No wonder Angie's teeth came out to play. Can we talk later? I have an evening class that I need to get to. Cassandra waves goodbye to you. See you later then. We have met Cassandra. You manage to sit through the other two classes of your day with no issue before you head out to the dinner hall to eat. 7 p.m. finds you back in your dorm and you head to your room and close the door. Then you lean on it and exhale. Today has been quite the day. What should you do? Women as Art is an interesting class, but do you think you can withstand an entire semester of that class with Alcina at the helm? What will you do? Continue. No, of course you won't drop out. You're not giving up that easily. So what if your new professor is someone you're kind of crushing on, but who is also your roommate's mom? Where could things go wrong? All right, I'm gonna save it there, and I'm going to end this episode here. Now that we met Cassandra, we met our roommates again, and we're in class with Lady Dimitrescu. So hopefully things will reveal themselves in the next episode. Donna was so sweet. I loved it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like if you like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see all of you guys in the next video. Bye.